Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between LabyRinth versus Sock. This game taking place here on a shallow grave. Sock has spawned as the random pink undead player over here on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, LabyRinth has spawned as the orange undead player over here on the top left. Have you seen Remo's suggestion on game balance? I have not. I really haven't. Haven't been able to spend as much time watching and enjoying WarCraft 3 as of late. A lot of responsibilities in the real world, and just needing to direct my attention towards my family. So, yeah, when I say this is definitely a hobby, it really is a hobby that I spend a little bit of time on, trying to just stay in touch with WarCraft 3, and I feel as though I'm part of the community and still want to be here. So, sometimes I try and listen to back to Warcraft while I'm working, but at the same time end up losing a little bit of concentration as well. Anyways, let's go ahead and break down this undead matchup. LabyRinth opening up with a Dreadlord first, something not too ordinary. Meanwhile, we are looking at a Cryptlord first, coming in from Sock. It is the battle of the lords here, as we are looking at both sides continuing to just tech up and develop their strategies. Still, I think having the ability for a racial ability for the dwarves would be a nice addition for the human, or not the alliance, right? To allow the dwarves to have a little bit of spell damage resistance or magic resistance, on top of what. Well, it's just part of the Warcraft lore already that dwarves are a little bit more resistant. So perhaps that's the reason why they have problems. Death Coil, Frost Nova being able to burst down those riflemen so quickly, and well, also taking down those mortar teams as well. It is interesting to note that mortar teams are still perhaps one of the more commonly used siege units, but that also could be because of, well, the intricacies of the human race altogether. Anyways, coming back around, Dreadlord opening things up, gonna go slept that Forest Troll High Priest so that it doesn't heal and give inner fire to all of those very, very powerful units early on. By removing that inner fire, wow, that Forest Troll High Priest actually moving around, getting in a little bit of heals there as the skeletal minions now coming to engage that Forest Troll High Priest, trying to spread that love as the Tome of Strength is dropped and that Dreadlord gets to level 2. Off to the north here, wait, hold on, wait, what? Oh, Cryptlord there, Dreadlord here. All right, I was mixed up in my positions for just a moment. LabyRinth being on the top right-hand side makes me think that he's on the right when he's actually on the left. All right, Cryptlord sitting at level 1, gonna be able to get to level 2 here and is gonna start an expansion. Meanwhile, the Dreadlord down to the south here, he had a potion of greater healing. I thought I saw a potion of greater healing earlier. Not quite sure what he did with it. Did he sell it already to try and, well, perhaps set up a fast expansion? And that is a very, very aggressive fast expansion then, if by selling a potion of greater healing to try and pull ahead in that economic advantage there. Meanwhile, we are looking at carrion beetles getting ensnared down by the creep camps. This creep should eventually be taken down there. A lot of damage being absorbed by a couple of ghouls. They should be microed and backed away momentarily, as LabyRinth also has that Forest Troll Shadow Priest to try and do a bit of healing. Ring of Protection +4 on the Dreadlord, as the Dreadlord now just shy of level 3. Ziggurats going down. We are going to be seeing those transform into Nerubian towers as we are on Shallow Grave. There's that level 3 as both sides getting to level 3 pretty quickly, but, well, the army of Sock, very wide at this point, could easily get an impale off and then try and surround a handful of units since the army is just that large. Cryptlord trying to chase after all of those units, unable to catch back up a couple more beetles. There's a carrion swarm ripping through some of those units as well, and we are going to have an early engagement on both sides. Abolish magic onto some of those beetles as well, and as those units are getting taken down, who is actually going to come out on top? Another carrion swarm rips on through, and LabyRinth doing a great job racking up damage with that carrion swarm against this go wide undead army. Skeletal minions are falling on both sides. Sok is taking quite a bit of damage, and well, a lot of those summon units were taken down, so the overall supply advantage 28 to 37 after that battle, as the units are still trying to flee. New ghouls could be coming around the corner here. Nope, not going to try and chase down that ghoul. The Dreadlord stays at level 3. And meanwhile, the Cryptlord staying at level 3 as well, not getting any experience in that small scuffle there. So a great job by LabyRinth over Sok in that little bit of a scrimmage. All right. 3.7 compared to 3.3. There's a sleep right there. That ghoul, well, gonna wake up to see himself surrounded by his enemies. Talking about waking up from a nightmare, as the Dreadlord looks to perhaps finish off some more of these units here. They're all walking in a single file line, pretty much being begging to be hit by that carry-on swarm, as we're looking at the units going to be engaging here. All right, are we going to see a nasty carry-on swarm rip through all of those units? No, they are trying to purposely dodge and duck and dive, predictably trying to figure out where that is going to go. But this is just going to continue to feed experience into LabyRinth here, as the ghouls are just trying, or the ghouls and all of these beetles are trying to retreat away. Level 4 already on the Dreadlord, a significant experience advantage, getting that higher level. Level 2 sleep could continue to, well, cause problems altogether, as a low hit point ghoul able to back away at 66 hit points. Forest Troll Shadow Priest about to get taken down. Acolytes trying to retreat away from all of these beetles, but still not quite working out, as additional acolytes will need to be trained as the tech to tier 2 has begun. Meanwhile, we're looking at Sok doing a great job being able to mine without any duress. 4.3 to 3.7, but not having full saturation on LabyRinth's expansion right now. All right, this necropolis is nearly done. Should be able to start transferring some acolytes over, and that was pretty predictive, knowing that as you are teching to tier 2, you cannot train up additional acolytes, and well, losing those acolytes early on ends up snowballing a bit more, as your opponent is able to get that gold advantage sooner. Dreadlord versus Cryptlord Undead Mirror. Yep. All right, Beetle still wandering around here. We're going to take a look. There's that Dreadlord again. Once again, that level 2 carry-on swarm really causing havoc on the Sok's army. If it gets to level 3, that damage is going to get very, very high very quickly, and could really begin to cause a lot more problems. Forest Troll, Shadow Priest, well, trying to take each other down. Who's going to be able to take down the other one? And there goes Sok's getting away ever so barely, continuing to get in a little bit more damage, trying to rack up more here. Are we going to see more damage coming on through? There goes a handful more units. One more tap should take it down, and it is now 13 or 17 experience away from that next level. All right, Forest Troll Berserker trying to retreat away. A bunch of units now trying to make its way over. There is one Nerubian tower here, as the Forest Troll Berserker could perhaps rack up a little bit of damage trying to take down some of those units, and the LabyRinth has to, well, could actually get to the next level here, as we are looking at him now just 5 experience away. All right, trying to rack up a little bit more damage. Is he going to be, oh, gets denied there and says thank you for killing a handful of units. You are no longer needed. Goodbye. And now get me up to level 5. Dreadlord sitting at level 5. Low hit point ghoul trying to retreat away. Level 3 carry-on swarm should be able to rip through those beetles oh so quickly. And Sok just takes a look at all of those beetles, losing a sudden amount of life, more than half of its life in just an instant. All right, damage is going to rack back up here. We are looking at a Spirit Tower in addition to a Nerubian Tower, and the Dreadlord's threat now is that level 6 ultimate ability, being able to summon down Infernals. All right, more damage racking up here, more beetles getting taken down. Are more beetles trying to be spawned? I don't see that as of yet. Staff of Teleportation in order to get away, and they will be able to get away right there. Dreadlord, well, once you have a level 5 AoE damaging hero, and you know your opponent has a go wide strategy, buy those potions of mana and translate your economic superiority into even more damage, and perhaps getting up to level 6. We are teching to tier 3, we are getting up a Death Knight and getting up a Slaughterhouse as well. Aside from the heroes and the summons, every part of this game seems to be a true mirror match. Cryptlord looking for some easy targets, all clumped up together, as we see the Death Knight leading that exact army there, and perhaps wanting to get to level 2 and level 3 quickly to balance out with that level 2 Death Coil. All right, Death Knights are out on both sides here. There in comes a Crypt Lord. Slaughterhouse should be training up some Obsidian statues here in just a moment, as the Crypt Lord now looking to engage. All right, Crypt Lord looking to engage here, trying to make its way inside this position. A couple of ghouls should be able to easily surround all of this position here as the Death Knight shoos away this Crypt Lord. Dreadlord, is he going to try to get asleep? No, he is not. Meanwhile, the Death Knight is buying a lot of time, being able to get halfway to level 2 already, also with an Obsidian statue, and going to perhaps retrain and regroup here. All right, there's the sleep onto the Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord could have a lot of trouble. Death Knight could be coming across with the Death Coil, comes in for the Death Coil save, gets a little bit of additional hit points, and the Crypt Lord escapes with 184 hit points. He would not have survived without that Death Coil, but perhaps maybe survived if the Scroll of Town Portal was a split second earlier, so difficult to say. Death Knight finishing off a lot of the Ogre Magi here. This 544 creep camp should give that Death Knight level 2 if the Crypt Lord or the Dreadlord had gotten away in time. Back off to the north, though, the beetle and the beetle infestation in the undead base still causing problems, as we are going into Banshees adept training on LabyRinth's Temple of the Dam. Down to the south, Death Knight sitting at level 1. Should be eventually get to level 2. Dreadlord shows up to the party and says, you know what, let me finish off some units. Oh, that Crypt Fiend able to escape away at the last possible moment, as the Dreadlord still looking for some easy targets, perhaps trying to take down the Obsidian statue. There goes another unit right there. Death Knight trying to finish things off, and there goes an Obsidian statue down alongside that Crypt Fiend. Both sides still fighting their way through. Dreadlord still has plenty of hit points, and there goes another Carrion Swarm ripping through, and now the burrowed Crypt Fiend's hiding, trying to stay away from all of that damage. Death Coils landing onto those targets, trying to save up continual hit points, as we see another Carrion Swarm ripping through, taking down 2 more clutch Crypt Fiends. All right, LabyRinth is just having an absolute field day, and really it has come down to the fact that the Dreadlord has had that level 3 Carrion Swarm, or high level Carrion Swarm, for so long. Crypt Fiend down to 37 hit points, able to barely stay alive. Obsidian statues keeping those units topped off for now. Now, Sock does have the Lich out in play, does have the Orb of Corruption, and has a very nasty plus 22 damage Lich straight out of the gate. 480 mana on a level 1 Lich, and with that much Frost Nova potential, well, is it enough to turn the tide around? Death Coil, Frost Nova, a nasty 1-2 combination, but they are going to be on the lower level side. There goes a Carrion Swarm ripping through Frost Nova onto the Death Knight. Death Knight now trying to get away, and it will be able to get away down to 93 hit points. A quick impale across the center. There's a Death Coil saving that Crypt Lord, as the Death Knight is sitting at level 3. All right, trying to finish off the remainder of this creep camp. Oh, Death Knight falls at level 2. I think a Carrion Swarm actually reached all the way to the other side, able to take it down. There is some more Carrion Swarms slowly adding up more damage. Dreadlord now currently out of potions of mana and takes a Frost Nova Blast, but finishes off doesn't finish off the Lich. The Lich falls at the hands of the creeps. No bonus experience right there, as the Dreadlord continuing to fight its way through, trying to get, trying to give more additional experience to the Lich and that Death Knight. Dreadlord should not be back here. It is just denying higher level experience for that Lich, who eventually wants that very, very precious Dark Ritual and Frost Nova. Beetles getting cleaned up by a couple of ghouls here. Meanwhile, what are we looking at now? 64 supply compared to 55. Sock is in a little bit of trouble, being forced to resurrect both of his supporting heroes, the level 2 Death Knight and that level 1 Lich. During this time, perfect opportunity for LabyRinth. yeah, LabyRinth to get up to level 2 on this Lich and level 3 on this Death Knight. Sok still waiting to resurrect here. Cryptlord does have the opportunity to try and clear out a difficult creep camp during this time, but without the Orb of Corruption on that Lich, this creep camp should be a little bit more difficult to take down than you would expect at this point in stage. All right, Overlord, a lot of focus fire right there. Death Knight now making its way over. Medallion of Courage, perfect item for the Death Knight who needs intelligence and hero, or just could be given to the Lich for an additional +5 damage and also give it a little bit more mana and hit points so it isn't as fragile in that front line. All right, Carrion Swarm ripping through. Dreadlord now purposely hanging back. Lich wants to get up to level 3. Death Knight wants to get up to level 4. Is that going to be possible? As we see a Medallion of Courage picked up by the Lich here. Only +10 damage on LabyRinth's Lich. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Death Knight, Cryptlord, and the Lich out onto the battlefield. Here is the Medallion of Courage is actually still staying on the Cryptlord. Surprisingly enough, perhaps wanting to use more impales and than anything else in these upcoming fights. LabyRinth now setting up a third base over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map, trying to perhaps extend this into a longer economic game. Lich still hanging back across here, perhaps wanting to get the Death Knight to level 3 and a double level up. 5-3 now on the first 2 heroes of Sok. Are you enjoying the 11 map pool? By the way, I only wish we've done this sooner. Yeah, 11 map pool is a lot more fun. It doesn't feel as stale, as there's much more variety, but I gotta say this, 11 map pool only makes sense and is fun if there are at least 7 maps that are worth playing on, right? If there isn't 7 maps worth playing on, then those maps should just become a bit of a problem. All right, there's a quick impale across many of those units in the front line there. Damage, anti-magic shell on LabyRinth's units being able to absorb a lot more damage here, but they are still stunned during that time. Ghouls and more units are looking to back away. 73 supply compared to Sok's 80. 80 has a big advantage over there as another impale picks up the units, and it is the loss of damage while stunned that is the big problem. Banshee's now getting taken down. LabyRinth now down to 65 supply compared to Sok's 80 over 80 as the damage is still pushing on through. All right, 5-4-3 going up against 5-3-1, but the heroes are starting to catch up there as a big Frost Nova causing problems here. As are we going to lose a bunch of ghouls off on this side here in just a moment? Yes, we are 72 supply compared to 60. Still a ghoul advantage the other way as the Obsidian statues still need to get in a lot of heals. The anti-magic shells on both sides causing problems. More Carrion Swarm ripping on through as the Death Coil is trying to save some of those units in the back. All right, Cloak of Shadows. In comes the Infernal. In comes the big stun. And now that AoE damage there as the Death Knight able to escape at 35 hit points. One Crypt Fiend departing right there at the last moment. But it looks like Sok was able to rack up enough damage to come out ahead in that fight. Level 6, level 4, level 3 with a 54 supply army going up against a level 5, level 3, and now a level 2 with a 71 supply army. Sok is in a bit of a better position here as he than before. He has higher level, or he has the larger army, but he needs to capitalize on this and make sure to make something happen. Right now, though, his Death Knight is so low on hit points, he doesn't really want to venture forth, because if he does so, he could easily lose that Death Knight, who's currently at 500 or about 500 hit points. All right, Dreadlord, there goes a Carrion Swarm trying to rip on through and now trying to retreat back. Impale, not going to hit. No Frost Nova. There's an anti-magic shell to absorb some of that damage back, as we see the Orb of Corruption still taking quite a bit of damage off there. Units still retreating back here. Expansion on the bottom left. The LabyRinth will perhaps invest too much in trying to get expansions up and running instead of building the larger army, allowing Sok an opportunity to get back into this game. Destroyers getting in some Devour Magic, regenerating some hit points, getting some precious mana in order to engage against those Obsidian statues in the back. All right, Carrion Beetle's looking to rage on in here. Are we going to get some Devour Magic here in the Necropolis, absorbing a little bit of damage? Carrion Swarm ripping through the inside as we're looking at 74 compared to 73. Big impale across the backside here as the Infernal is still alive and ready for some damage, trying to take down some of those units. All right, Cyclone picking up the Dreadlord, or the Cryptlord, their Cryptlord out of commission for a little bit of time. A lot of anti-magic shell going across the battlefield here as the Infernal is continuing to fight in that frontline spot. 65 supply compared to 62. Home field advantage not really found, as except for the Tomb of Relics being able to buy potions if necessary. 3 supply difference between these two sides so far, as the Infernal is still racking up a large amount of damage and now purposely trying to back away, as it doesn't want to give easy free experience, but it still does. Level 4 now on the Lich of LabyRinth, as the hero levels are starting to go strong for LabyRinth. Again, 53 supply compared to 55. Burrowing on those Crypt Fiends by Sock to try and keep them alive and heal them back up. Carrion Swarm not being able to reach all the way there, as the Destroyer still trying to finish off more and more of those units. 59 compared to 59. But LabyRinth's Banshees no longer that strong. Dust of Appearance gonna find a couple of those Crypt Fiends. There goes one Crypt Fiend. Are we gonna see a bunch of low hit point Obsidian statues get taken down? No, we are not. The Dreadlord not going after the Obsidian statues here. Could actually chase after there. There goes one. There's a quick tap there, taking another one down, as we're looking at, well, LabyRinth now getting level 5 on that Death Knight. Level 5 Death Knight, as this Crypt Fiend, well, it is currently burrowed. There's Dust of Appearance, trying to finish things off. It will end up getting taken down. Another one goes. 51 compared to 50. One Obsidian statue purposely trying to hide away. More Frost Novas taking down more units again and again. And this is turning into a straight hero battle. If you're not a hero, you're not a main character in this story, and you could be given up. Lich about to get taken down. Death Coil and Potion of Lesser Invulnerability saved at the last possible moment, as the units are trying to retreat away. Not having enough mana for a last Carrion Swarm right there. Units are now starting to reinforce back from home. 58 supply compared to 56. Both sides fighting, as we see a Dark Ritual off of some skeletal minions there. Dreadlord now down to 200 hit points. Is he going to be able to escape away? Down to 173. He looks like he'll be able to survive, and they need to fight back on Blight again. LabyRinth wants to get a Death Coil off onto that Dreadlord. Not quite sure why he isn't doing that just quite yet, as the Dreadlord does have enough mana, or does have the cooldown for Infernal, but doesn't have the mana just quite yet there. All right, does he buy a potion of mana? No, he does not. Up to 135, 140. He needs to get healed back up. There goes a quick Frost Nova. There's that Death Coil for the save right there, as both sides are still fighting their way through. All right, there goes another Carrion Swarm, taking down one of those Obsidian statues. He does need a mana pot, though, in order to call down an Infernal, as we now see Sock trying to run back and inside of the base, deep inside here. More Crypt Fiends burrowing, but, well, constantly getting revealed still, as well, Destroyer is able to devour some of those Carrion Beetles and continuing to fight back the other way. Infernal could be called down if there was enough mana, and more Carrion Swarms ripping on through. We're looking at very low hit point Obsidian statues getting, well, poked in the back line now, and it's really been the fact that the Dreadlord has been able to get damage onto those backline Obsidian statues, that this push by Sock just keeps on falling short just a little bit. Is there enough here to perhaps try to tip over the edge here? 52 supply compared to 57. That Tomb of Relics still hasn't really given all that much. Being able to summon down an Infernal would be clutch right here amongst that giant sea of Crypt Fiends, stunning them down here. All right, there it is. There's that Infernal coming down across all of those units, adding up damage, stunning them down. Death Knight, however, falls at level 5 during that time, as the Crypt Lord is able to back away at level 6. All right, level 6 Crypt Lord backed away, but Frost Nova as a departing gift on that Crypt Fiend as he gets taken down. Level 5 Death Knight falls. Scroll of Town Portal being used. Infernal, it seemed like there was plenty of opportunity to buy a mana pot, summon the Infernal, and take that down. The faster you use your ultimate ability, the longer the fight, the earlier in the fight you have it, and then if they do escape, well, you have more time to recover on that cooldown there. Now, you also have to deal with Sock's ultimate ability on this Crypt Lord, that Locust Swarm that Crypt Lord is going to be able to send out as well. All right. What the Crypt Lord or Carrier has arrived. Let's go ahead and make another move here. Right, the Infernal is still in play in that frontline spot. Carrion Swarm ripping through many of those Crypt Fiends, but that is quickly just being negated by the Obsidian statue there. Death Knight now trying to retreat back. of Sock. Sock, however, could be in a lot of trouble trying to retreat back down to 44 hit points. He gets taken down at level 5. The level up not enough to give him enough hit points to retreat back, as we see Locust Swarm now activated on Sock's Cryptlord. All right, Carrion Swarm ripping through, able to hit back those Obsidian statues in the far back line there. 49 supply compared to 47. Both sides continuing to lose a lot of units, as the Dreadlord could have a lot of problems. Dreadlord now down to 284 hit points. Carrion Swarm ripping through. Lich down to 77 hit points. Is he going to be able to escape? He's down to 64. And LabyRinth is going to heal up on that Lich just a little bit. Frost Novas perhaps could go down. Perhaps trying to finish off more of those units as well. What is the Cryptlord doing? The Cryptlord is not engaging for some strange reason. Oh, it was a sleep. It was a sleep right there. Cryptlord trying to fight away. There is another sleep right there. And, well, Sock's Cryptlord is asleep, and with no other unit to wake it up, is giving time for LabyRinth to heal. All right, more beetles coming back out onto the battlefield. Lich now trying to make its way back over. Death Knight, Death Coil finds the Lich, and that is going to be the end of it. Now that the Death Knight is back out there on the battlefield, able to stay alive, the Cryptlord, the powerful ultimate hero, falling level 6 ultimate ability hero, falling asleep, and then just getting absolutely surrounded. Death Coil for the heal right there. Cryptlord could get taken down. There is invulnerability. He was slept, and that will be the game. A beautiful use of sleep. That Dreadlord was an absolute beast on the battlefield, dealing so much damage. I was talking about that Carrion Swarm just absolutely shutting down that back line, maximizing damage, being able to get to level 5 so quickly. But ultimately, in the end, it was the sleep that made the difference, and that final push to win that battle. A beautiful game between LabyRinth and Sock. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments below.